Hi, this is Abhimanyu, and I'm in conversation with Atul Kulkarni, who is donning a new hat, a writer's hat, instead of being an actor this time. Atul sir, welcome. Thank you for the time.
Hi. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. How are you?
Uh, First of all, this is a very unusual role that you are taking. Was it tougher than all your other roles, or was it easier writing a screenplay?
No, writing every word for Laal Singh Chaddha was a difficult task. I mean, it's quite a big thing to adapt Forrest Gump into for Indian audiences, for Indian family audiences.
Right.
So yeah, it was a daunting task. I must confess that.
How did it happen? How did you decide to first write a screenplay, and why did you choose Forrest Gump?
Well, it's the story goes long back, about 14 years back. Aamir had produced this film Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na, and there was a premiere and before the release, and after the premiere, we had gone to Aamir's place, and we were having chat and dinner and all that, and we ended up talking about the films that we like.
Right.
So Forrest Gump came up,
Right.
and of course, I also loved Forrest Gump. I told him and all that, and we were talking, and then I left it at that. And then next day, I was supposed to go for a shoot somewhere for 12, 15 days outdoor shoot,
Right.
and that got cancelled. And I suddenly had about 15 days at my disposal, and the Forrest Gump DVD just lied right there
Ah,
at my home. So I remembered the discussion from the previous night, and I thought, ki, let us watch the film. I have not watched it in many days. So I started watching it. And after some time, there were kind of flashes in front of my eyes as to if this character was, Indian character, if this whole thing was
right.
happening in India, when would it start? What would happen?
Right. Right.
General brain kind of my brain started running. So I started taking notes.
Hmm.
Generally, I didn't know. So 1 hour through the film, there were enough notes on my pad, and I thought, why not attempt,
Right.
writing a script? So I started right from the first scene,
Okay.
and I just started writing, and I realized after 10 days that I have completed the script.
Wow.
I have written the script, and then I did the second draft in another 2 3 days, and within 15 days the script was ready.
Wow.
So it was not intended,
Huh.
so to say. I realized that I have actually written a script after I had completed the script.
Wow. That's the most
So
accidentally how it can happen, right? Most accidental way of becoming.
absolutely, and you never know, such a big thing. And
Right.
now that I see the film and the scale that it has achieved,
Right.
um, it just started because of some random
Yeah.
discussion between
Yeah.
two actors.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So how did it take so long? Why did it take so long for the film to actually get made? Because if you had
Well,
this in 2007, 8.
yeah. So first 2 days, Amir didn't read the script. He took 2 years
Okay.
to read the script, and it's not that we were not meeting and we were not in touch. Of course, we were constantly meeting and talking and all that. And he all the time used to say, "हाँ हाँ हाँ पढ़ते हैं, हाँ हाँ पढ़ते हैं, पढ़ते हैं." So after a couple of years, we were talking on the phone, and I said, "कि boss, कब
Yeah.
पढ़ेंगे?" So he said, "You know what? Let me confess." I said, "What?" He said, "You are not a writer, and within 15 days you call up and tell me that you have adapted Forrest Gump.
Right. Right.
See, you are a close friend of mine. I don't want to disappoint you by saying कि तूने बहुत खराब लिखा है,
Right.
and that's why I'm not listening to the script." मैंने कहा यार मैं राइटर थोड़ी हूँ. Why would I get disappointed? It was just, out of the moment. I have just
Uh,
written it, listen to it,
uh,
and if you don't like it, just trash it. I don't
exactly.
bother. I mean, I absolutely won't care.
Uh,
I'm not a writer. So he said, अच्छा 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 आ जा. So I said, आ जाता हूँ. कहाँ पे हो? तो मैंने कहा पंचगनी में हूँ. So I went to Panchgani. I read the script to him, and after I finished reading it, me and Aamir, we usually talk in Marathi.
Right.
So yeah. So he said, "मी film करणार, मी
Ah.
film produce करणार, या film मध्ये मी act करणार." So within no time, he just said, "Ki I'll produce, I'm going to act this film. I'm going to do this film."
Wonderful.
And he started calling the next moment. He called his Rao Saab, who looks after his production. He called up Kiran. He said, "We are coming to Mumbai tomorrow, and Atul has written this wonderful script. We are doing it, and I want to read out the script to you and all that." So that is how it started. He also started getting in touch with the Paramount people for
Right. To get the
permissions.
rights. Yeah.
Yeah, to get the rights, and that is what took 10 years.
Right.
And we did not get the rights quickly, and that's why the real answer to your question is we didn't get the rights.
It's a time-taking process. Of course, you have to
Yeah.
go through channels for that. So my first question, since you watched the film and then decided to adapt it, if someone like me and millions of people who have watched Forrest Gump, would there be something new in Laal Singh Chaddha, or is it a scene-by-scene adaptation? If you say?
Actually, you would struggle to find what is old in this film. What is because I'll tell you what, this is a complete Desi family film,
right?
And it is because those who have seen Forrest Gump, they would know that it is impossible to remake the film, so to say.
Right, agreed completely.
You have to rewrite the film. You have to, even if you adapt, we are saying adaptation, but that adaptation is also of the screenplay roughly. Nothing can be similar because no references of US, can be applied to India. Yeah. So there is nothing that is common, I would say, except for the characters, and the screenplay.
I think the characters in their journey is what
journey, that's it.
But the specific incidents, right. I mean, you can't get Elvis
and that also the
Indian version, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the basic spirit, I would say, you would be able to see. So what has been maintained in the film is the spirit of the film, a journey of a extremely innocent man, traveling his 50 years of journey, and simultaneously you see the things around him. Yeah, that is the spirit of the film.
So one thing, of course, has happened is that certain incidents have had to be Indianized, like Vietnam War becomes the Kargil War, if I'm not wrong. What was the most difficult thing to bring to Indian context, according to you?
Every word, as I said, it was not at all an easy task. It was a rewriting, basically. So there cannot be even a single incident that could be just taken out of Forrest Gump and stuck here. There is not a single moment like that. Everything is Indianized. So I think every if you want to use the word difficult, then I think every word was difficult.
Have the people behind Forrest Gump, you plan to show it to them, because that would be a daunting task to see their reaction to maybe Tom Hanks, Robert Zemeckis. What do they have to say about Laal Singh Chaddha?
I don't exactly know what is happening on that front, but I think if it happens, we all would know.
Yeah, of course. Finally, Laal Singh Chaddha is uniquely Indian because he's a Sikh man with a long beard, as Indian as it can get. Was that
absolutely
sort of deliberate to get the Indianness in the film and not make it very generic, or did it happen through the course of the writing?
I think some of the things, there are so many things to talk about Laal Singh Chaddha after one sees the film.
Okay.
Because if I start talking about it, I'll be revealing too much, and I just don't want to spoil that for the audiences. And but I'm sure that every small detail has a reasoning and has a purpose to it. Otherwise, you cannot make such a huge film, such a deep film, like Laal Singh Chaddha. Yeah.
And in the trailer, I saw for the first time Aamir speaking fluent Punjabi, which hasn't happened before a lot. At least he hasn't played that Tate is the word we use, Punjabi character. Was that in the writing, or was that something he brought in with himself?
No, that was not in the writing. Of course, the character, Sikh character was there, of course. But I had written all the dialogues in Hindi. But as an actor and Advait's decision as a director, they felt that he should be speaking in Punjabi. So my dialogues were translated into Punjabi.
Right.
Yeah. So the original dialogues are in Hindi.
To you, if you watch Laal Singh Chaddha and Forrest Gump back to back, what would be the most different thing that you would say, ki, this I have managed to achieve, which probably was not there in the original as well. As great a film as it is, there are some things, of course, which you plan to do differently. What is that one thing that you have managed ki, ye maine kar liya, jo shayad original mein nahi
tha? Well, this is a very difficult question to answer. Because number one, I cannot be the judge of it.
Okay.
It's people like you.
Voice hoti hai na? Hum armchair critics and when we watch a film, we criticize it sitting at home.
Correct. Nahi, bilkul hota hai. But I think, again, if I start talking about it, I would be unfortunately revealing things. So let us all watch the film. And I'm sure, people like you would love to talk about it after they have seen the film. Because not because I have written it, not because Aamir, my friend, has done it, but I think it's a very, very important piece as far as Indian cinema is concerned. I think that it's an important film. And whoever has watched the film in the test screenings, they have also said the same thing, we have never seen something like this. And we are damn sure we are never going to see something like this, because this cannot be repeated.
Right.
This is such a unique script. This is such a, even if anyone wishes, you cannot repeat, and that is why in none of the languages in the world, Forrest Gump has been made.
Yeah. It's the most difficult. It's very American to bring it to India. That's all. My final question to wrap it up. One of the most iconic things about Forrest Gump is life is like a box of chocolate. You managed to bring an Indian version to it as well with Golgappe. How difficult was that, and how many versions of that statement were written?
See, whatever I wrote, I just told you that my final draft was ready after 15 days. And however bizarre it might sound, but that is true.
Oh, wow.
And whatever process has gone into was within those 15 days. There have been additions, but this particular dialogue is in the original script. So there was no versions as such. But, when I recall those 10-15 days, I must tell you that I have never gone through that kind of a mental process ever. There used to be flashes in my, we call it dream, and again it might sound surreal and kuch bhi bol raha hai banda, aisa lagega. But when you are constantly thinking about something, you forget if you have thought about it in your sleep, or if you have actually thought about it and all that. And those 10-15 days I was alone at home, and I absolutely have not, and this was 14 years back, I have never had this kind of an intense emotional kind of a journey. So if you talk about the versions of anything, not only about this dialogue, all of them have happened in those 15 days.
Perfect. It's been very fun talking to you, Atul sir.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for your time, sir, and all the best for everything.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.